All right. Let's get the YouTube volume turned down a little bit. High shit. There we go. That's a beautiful view, ain't it? So what's up? Let's talk. We could review stuff if we need to, and yeah, a lot of stuff has happened this week, huh? See who's in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, they're welcome. Hold on, let's see. What's up, Flames? Got Flames in here. Tony, Casket Keeper, Jimbo, got all the homies. Scotty Vice, Shabazz, Simon, Ryan, Rainbow Ryan, TCB for life. I've seen him or her around 2 times. And user Simon, salute, bro. All right, so what's been going on? A lot of shit going on, huh? Flames thinks I'm Diddy. No, he's not. Scotty Vice is not Diddy, no. Diddy has multiple accounts, but Scotty Vice, no, absolutely not. Can you imagine a fool like Dub coming on? How do you say? Coming on YouTube telling everyone he's a shot caller, and then the next minute he's telling everyone and shit. But yeah, I know, Ryan. In the mountains. In the mountains. Not Diddy the Ash. It's that easy. Yeah. Well, what's up, Dom? Well, Flames some people, just like to stay anonymous. Scotty Vice been around a long time. He's good people. Like you can make the argument of, oh, we don't know who he is and blah blah blah. I get that, but he's a good dude. I think, like I've said this before, your character really kind of shows over a long period of time. If you're just a clown, like it comes out as a clown, you say crazy stuff like Doug, says a whole bunch of wild crap, Even Diddy is like, he says crazy stuff. Like for him, especially like a lot of people talk about, oh, don't bring families up and blah blah blah. It's exact same thing what they do, and they've done it numerous fucking times, calling people's kids cunts, putting up family pictures. So many people have done that, bro. Yeah, like talk about not doing it, and there's I think like people's Facebook stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a public freaking thing, right? You can make so Dub likes to make the argument with me calling out what he said about his son Arian, right? And I put out a Facebook. Um, I actually think I have it right here. To be honest, let's just review it right here. Um, right here, right? And Dub likes to cry about this and be like, "Oh, he put out families and blah blah blah." And no, I didn't. Right? What I did here was you claimed, Dub, you claimed that you were taking care of Arian and you know, full time father and all that garbage. Right? Same thing you did with Emily. It was Emily this, Emily that, until Emily came on the panel and exposed you as being absent, an absent father. Right? And the same thing with AJ. You were talking about all this crap, and all I did was um put this out and say, no, you didn't, right? Like this woman here is adopting your son. One hit quitter, fool. Yeah, I'm gonna knock his ass out. I'm gonna knock his ass out. And it's like this. No matter what he says, it doesn't matter. He continually pulls, tells people to pull up, and they got 10 days. He's done this so many times. It's damn time somebody does it back to him. And if he doesn't show up, right, on Saturday tomorrow, then he's just a bitch. That's it. And he can never change it. It never gets erased, and that's like pretty much like what it is. And that's it. And it's not my problem. At the end of the day, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Get mad about it, cry about it, scream about it, try to say it's not, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if you don't show up, right, you're this Mr. freaking tough guy and this and that, then, and you say, right, I said I was going to pull up to you and this and that and the third. Dude, how many times have you said you were going to come to freaking Michigan? Bro, you said you were going to get off. The minute you knew my name, you were going to get off YouTube and come here and handle business. And that was like 2 years ago. What happened to that? That just, you're not going to mention that, right? And that's what you do. You pick and choose, you pick and choose, you pick and choose, you pick and choose. It's crazy. Crazy. Tension is never too late. How quick are you to drop? Well, Ryan, I've been thinking about this, and I'll get back to you tomorrow on this. But we're gonna knock his ass out. That's what's gonna happen, right? He's gonna show up. He's gonna wobble, and I'm just gonna knock his ass out. It's gonna be I'm gonna punch him right in the unholy one. I'm gonna push that shit back. You already can't see it. After tomorrow, you really can't see it. So that's all I'm gonna say. And then after I put it on my community post, I'm gonna kick him right in the chemical burn. Just right in the chemical burn, Dub. And there's nothing you're gonna do about it. You better wear whatever it is, Dub. Better come prepared. Once I get Ella's name. Yeah, Ryan. I know, dude. He said that. He doesn't like to admit it, but that's exactly what he said. That's what you said, Dub. There's no changing. He was crying today again, too. He was freaking crying, making excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, right? It's always these excuses of why he doesn't have to pull up. It's like that every time, why he doesn't have to pull up. That was going to throw us right there. You think so, Jimbo? Is that what he's going to do? He's going to be like, come on, fool. Come on, fool. Where's Tony? Tony needs to play that right now. Come on, fool. Dee and Judge are going to testify for you, Jimmy. Yeah. He wants people to come where he can't. See, this is the thing. He wants people to come where he can call the cops. That's why everyone has to come to him. That's why everyone needs to come to him. Because James has to be in close proximity, right, to the police department or have cops there. Just like the same thing that happened with The whole time, the cops were called the entire day. And that's crazy. And yet he was going to fight him out of his mind. And this is Welds, too. This is his Welds. This is Welds, master welder, right? 20 some years of welding experience. This is what he does. This is work, bro. You want to jump up flames or no? You don't have to. What's up, T Train? If you want to hop up, you can too. I can play whatever, talk. We're just reviewing the week. Tomorrow's a big day where I'm punking out Dub, and there's nothing that Dub can say to help his situation. It's gonna be punked out forever. We're going to show up to his jury trial. Yeah, Alan. I mean, Ryan, I might have to. Really expensive one. Drop the link. I dropped it right. Train. Hectic day, running around like a goof right now. Yeah, you don't have to do whatever you want to do. You know, I hate when people eat on stream, but I'm starving right now, so give me a minute.
Yo.
Yo, what's up, Flames?
Nothing, man. I'm in between sets. I got 6 sets of push-ups left. I'm doing 1,000. So give me
You are really?
I just wanted to come on here right away and at least click on your link. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. He said 1,000. That's some serious shit. That's crazy. We got Flames up here. That's badass. I don't care who says what.
All right, what up, man?
Flames, why are you so hated?
I don't know, because I tell the truth.
Because you tell the truth? There you go.
There's a lot of people on here who use YouTube as an opportunity to grift and be something that they're not in normal society. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they took advantage of that. And then the whole donation thing, I think, just corrupted the podcasters.
You think so?
Yeah, well, because all they got to do is come up with some stupid fucking cause, and people are donating them money. So
That's
what they
true.
what they do is that idea that supply and demand, we'll call it, right?
Yeah.
People, it's kind of like the ASPCA commercials where they have the dogs crying and shit, and then people are pulling out their last dollar.
Yeah.
And who's the majority of people that are doing that? Old people. So what you have is a whole bunch of people defrauding old people. That's what it is. That's what it is. But what do you think? What do you think? Why am I so hated?
I don't know. I think it's, you're a type of guy with no filter, right? And you will say your mind, and I think people don't like that. Yeah.
I'm running a little behind. I'm at 44 sets in an hour and 10 minutes. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. There you go. Damn, this dude is not fucking around. Was it right? RL on your boots. Maybe doing a community service, fool. Yeah, fool.
All right.
I'm listening.
No, I'm listening too, man. You're eating, and I got 5 sets left. Or 6 sets. But I don't know, man. I don't sit back and think about why people don't like me. I just do me. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm doing the best I can in life. I used to be a total piece of shit, meth smoking, car stealing. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to live like that no more. And I don't want people like that around me. And because I've been to prison so many times, and I've been surrounded by the criminal element my whole life, because I used to be a total piece of shit, I know what a piece of shit looks like. Does that make sense? So when I see people that are doing shit like what JD DeLay is doing, I got to call it. So, of course, they're going to hate
What is he doing, you think? Like, what is he doing?
Well, he faked his son's death.
But what is he doing? Like, faking a story?
So, the idea was his YouTube page wasn't doing so good.
I seen what you said about his nephew thing.
His YouTube page wasn't doing so good at first in 2021. Wasn't doing very good, right? And then all of a sudden, his nephew died. He came out and said it was his son, and then he started a recovery coach business. And he had the Narcan in his hand. It was an ad. It was an advertisement. His nephew died 3 days before that advertisement, and he comes on and he does a thing. He's pretending to cry with a fucking Narcan in his hand, and then all of a sudden now he's a recovery coach. No, you're not. No, he's not. Think of all the donations he got, bro. They didn't even bury that kid. They cremated him. Did you know that?
Yeah, right.
And then, they were asking for money for the funeral. That's not a
crazy.
funeral if you're not burying them. It's a memorial.
Right. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Right there. Yeah. I don't sit around thinking my people don't like me. Flames is back on the shards. Dribble definitely paperwork on them push-ups. He's getting it in. Doing his thing, bro. 1,000. So
I don't know. What's your take? What do you think? I'm always saying what I think.
I don't really know because I don't watch him, Like, I don't know. Like, do you think all his prison stuff's real? Like, you think he was? Well,
I don't think he's ever been in prison.
Called him a shot caller, right?
Yeah. And but again, it's clickbait. Just like his son dying is clickbait. If you were to come out and say my nephew died, it wouldn't hit as hard as my son died. Now I'm sober, and now I'm a recovery coach. So donate to me because I'm helping to change the world. He did the same thing Jelly Roll was doing. Jelly Roll went in there, excuse me, and went on Capitol Hill and testified about the cartel. It's the same thing JD DeLay was doing. It was an agenda at the time. It was a Republican agenda that JD DeLay was on. The get rid of fentanyl agenda was what JD DeLay was a Republican. But he's got a fag in his family, right? So he had to change that. And now he's an ally.
If you're a Republican, I don't get into politics. So if you're a Republican, you can't have a gay person in your family?
I didn't say you can't. I didn't say that. I didn't say they can't be in your family. But if I have a gay person in my family, I'm not associating with him or talking to him. It's against my religion.
I see. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah. Your Christianity. Yeah.
I think that's about the only thing Iran got right was not letting fags run around. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think, I don't know. That's people's preference, right? I don't know.
Hey, you notice how I'm not passing out in my lap?
Yeah.
What other questions you got, bro? I just came on here real quick just to say hi.
See, I don't know. Like, what do you think the problem is with being gay, though? As long as
what do you mean? What's the problem with being gay? What are you talking about? You serious?
Well, because I think that people should do what they want, right? Like, who are we to control what another grown person does? So in that sense, I think where it becomes like maybe unaccepted is when it's that propaganda is shoved down people's throat. You know what I mean?
Like a drag queen in full drag at a public library talking to 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yes.
And the books that they're reading are sexually explicit. There's no way a 5-year-old should be thinking about what their private parts are.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
All they need to know is that nobody needs to touch them there. You know what I'm saying? That's really all you got to tell a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit's crazy to me. This entire landscape is crazy. I had no idea I was stepping into this forum. Remember, all I did was shorts at first. I didn't even make any videos. Yeah. I didn't come on here and do lives. I didn't do any of this until these people tried to start fucking with me. You know what I mean? Okay. Hold on one second.
Yeah. You're just going to town, dude. Yes, dude. We're going to ask him. See, we got to ask him about his gang life. We have to. And this is just, I'm interested, right? In how he grew up and.
All right. So let me ask you a question. So can two men have a baby?
No.
Okay. So it's not natural.
Right. I agree with you there. Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. So, and here's the deal. A man and a woman aren't just going to like break out and have sex on a dinner room, on a dinner table at a restaurant. So why do gay people have to be so flamboyant and do the gay sexual shit in public? We don't do that. Why do they get to do it? Right. The drag queen at the public library should have been a red flag for everybody, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And there's a liberal agenda now. There's a liberal agenda. And the YouTube streets are pushing it because the algorithm is really what pushes it. Okay. The government controls the algorithm.
Okay.
The algorithm is set, especially YouTube, is set to a liberal agenda. Most social media is.
Okay.
For whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe the liberals have all the money. I don't know. What's his name? Who's the guy that owns BlackRock? Whatever. BlackRock, Rothschild, the Rockefellers, all those people still, they own and manipulate everything. Okay. At the end of the day, they're pushing the gay agenda because it's population control. That is the ultimate reason why the government pushes it.
Really?
Because it's population control. And it corrupts the structure of a nuclear family. You know what a nuclear family is, right?
Why would it corrupt it?
Because gay people cannot have kids.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah.
So you're gonna have a couple step kids, but what is that? That's not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like man and woman make a child.
Right.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
But you believe a lot because of your religion, though, right? I don't know. Gayness has been going on for centuries. Like. Back in Samaria, right? I think it's the earliest civilization.
What'd you say? I got headphones on. I'm not listening. Besides that,
Well, I said that like gay, right? Like homosexuality has been going on since I feel like the creation of man. You know, back in the Sumerian days, I think it's Sumeria's earliest civilization they ever discovered, and I guarantee you, gayness was going on then. You know, it's been like the Romans and.
But it's evil. It's evil, and that was the fall of Rome.
Well, you think it's evil because of your religion, correct? Because
it's not my religion. It's not a religion. It's my truth.
Your truth. Okay.
I don't have a religion. Religion is a way for them to control you. Okay. So you got spirituality.
But you believe in Jesus, right?
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Gotcha.
I know Jesus. I don't believe in him. I know he's real.
You really?
Yeah, I know he's real. Yeah.
Why?
There's historical records of him, Alan.
From?
What do you mean from? There's all kinds of historical records on him. Why? What about the shroud that they found? Was that fake?
But like, okay, the Caesar Augustus conducted a census, right?
Which one? Augustus. All right.
Right. In the beginning of Matthew.
I'm listening.
And that is completely false because the Romans were very good at documenting. And in that period where Jesus was born, Caesar Augustus never conducted a census, which I think that breaking that into Matthew, the first book, is crazy. The genealogies don't match at all.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm trying to get my thought. Go ahead.
And so like the earliest document from the New Testament that was ever like uncovered or what Bible scholars say is a Q document. And after that, it's a bunch of copies off of the Q document. So I have a problem with the New Testament for that too. And if you read in Apostle Paul's writings, Apostle Paul never like believed that Jesus was actually like crucified. He talks about him more as like a spiritual figure, right? Well, a lot of Bible.
Right, hold on real quick. Apostle Paul, got 2 more sets.
Okay.
All right, Apostle Paul.
Yeah. So obviously, like, I don't know everything, but from, my research, because I grew up in like a Christian household and I'm very skeptical on a lot of things I'm taught, because to me, I think a lot of things are propaganda and like nobody really knows what God is saying,
Yeah.
Right. Like everyone tells you. Go ahead.
I don't know. God speaks to everybody individually, man. The Bible is made up by the Flavians, bro. So all the original texts, all right, all the original manuscripts, look it up. All the original manuscripts were burned in like 90 AD, something like that. Whenever the Romans sacked the temple, when did they do it? Hold on. When did the Romans?
Alexander the Great was the one who burned all the documents, right?
Sack the Jewish temple. 70. I'm sorry, it was 70 CE. It says right here the Romans sacked the Jewish temple in Jerusalem in 70 CE. Common Era. They changed that. Again, why now all of a sudden we don't call it before Christ or after Christ? We call or after death. We call it Common Era. You see what I'm saying? This is what happens when the liberals get control of shit. It's before Christ and after death. That's what it always was. And all of a sudden now, never mind. I could go off on a tangent. So anyway, 70 Common Era. The Romans sacked the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. This event marked a significant turning point in Jewish history, leading to the destruction of the Second Temple and the eventual decline of Jewish religious practices and identity. They burned everything. All right. They burned everything. And then they rewrote a new Bible. And that's what we have now. The Flavians rewrote all of that. That's why it doesn't make sense. And Paul was a piece of shit. Paul wasn't an apostle of Jesus at all. Paul was killing Christians.
Yeah, and then he had a vision on the road to Damascus.
I don't buy that story. I don't buy that story.
Oh, you don't buy it?
No, it's all part of the agenda, man. They fucked up. They killed Christ. All right, they killed Christ. They fucked up. So in order to cover their tracks, they came up with this narrative to where Jesus needed to die as some divine plan. Jesus being crucified was not a divine plan. They just changed the fucking narrative. The same thing the YouTube streets try to do all the time when they know they're fucked up. None of them have been to prison. They know a whole bunch of people got sex cases. Pino's a poop smear. but they don't care because they bring everybody on. And as long as they can control the narrative within the people that are their demographic, it's the same thing the Romans did. But anybody who didn't want to believe them, they sailed around and just killed everybody off, except for the women and children. They impregnated the women, and then the new kids started a new civilization of people they could control. And they had this thing called the Bible. That's why they give the Bible away. That's why they give it away for free, because it's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good way to like live your life, you know, like it teaches good things, but I think historically and a lot of facts are kind of, but I feel like people should have a lot of these arguments, because a lot of people that like even say they're Christians, they've never even read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. They don't know what's in it.
Paul, hold on real quick. Paul never met Jesus. I'm gonna take one more set. And
no, he had a vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was on the road to persecute Christians, and he had a vision, and God blinded him for like, well, he saw a bright light and that blinded him. And pretty much he converted.
All right. So Paul worked for the Sanhedrin.
Persecuting Christians, yes.
Yeah, he worked for the Sanhedrin directly from the Sanhedrin. He was the hitman for the Jews. Okay? That's what Paul was. He was the hitman for the Jews.
Right.
So how do you go from being the hitman for the Jews to being the number one apostle? No. Doesn't work that way. They're trying to control the narrative, and they sailed around and killed everybody who didn't believe the bullshit story. That's why you have the Inquisition. That's why you have
who did?
The Spanish. The Spanish predominantly, but the English did it as well.
Yeah.
English did it as well.
The Romans were very good about people keeping their own religion. They wanted to control you, and you had to pay tax. But like the Germans, like Germania, and all of them were allowed to keep whatever gods they believed in. The Romans are,
yeah, but they had to worship in their home.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that was a deal that they made with the Vikings. Okay. Specifically, a guy named Harold Bluetooth. All right. Harold Bluetooth was responsible. You know, when you see a Bluetooth, it's actually named after that guy. All right. Really? Remember the Bluetooth, the first one that used to blink blue? It's named after Harold Bluetooth. So, anyways, Bluetooth was a famous Viking leader from Denmark. And I don't have any notes in front of me or nothing, but I'm just going to freestyle this. So what he did is he had to make a choice. The Christians were coming in and they were going to start slaughtering everybody there like they had been. All right. And the Vikings, when they would sail out and they were on voyages and shit, they were all good with war, but they really didn't want war coming to their home, to the villages where their women and children are. Does that make sense? Yeah. So Harold Bluetooth said, all right, we got to make a deal. So he made a deal with the Christians that they would adopt Christianity in Denmark and for all Vikings. Okay. But they still practiced paganism. Asatru is actually how it's really pronounced. But everybody says Asatru. So they were practicing Asatru, which is Odinism, right? Thor, all that shit, right? Yeah. So they were allowed to practice that in their homes. Okay. And that was the agreement Harold Bluetooth made. And then eventually the Vikings just went ahead and became Christians. You also have a group of a Germanic tribe called the Visigoths. The Visigoths actually defeated the Muslims. What was that, in 700?
Oh, really?
Hold on. Well, I know the Visigoths and the Moors had a war. Hold on a second. Let's go with Visigoths. This happened in Spain. It used to be the center of the world. Visigoths versus Moors. When was this? 711. I know the war was. I can't remember who won. 711. The Visigoths. Okay, so the Moors actually won in 711, but before that, the Visigoths took over. If that makes any sense. And the Visigoths were the Germanic tribes, Celts. Yeah, it's another way to say it. They were just like Celts. They ran into battle butt naked. Yeah. And they were just psychos.
Really? Just psychos, huh?
Just psychos, yeah. But anyways, what else were we covering?
So like I thought you got along with the YouTube streets. What happened there?
So I have no problem like pretending that I'm friends with somebody, right? Because they like to do that shit too. What do they call that? Buddy trolling. I have no problem buddy trolling people that are trying to buddy troll me. All right. Look. Anytime somebody reaches out to you out of nowhere with a helping hand and tries to help you and says they're going to help you do this. They're going to help you get your channel going. They're all the shit that Plug says to people, right? They're trying to set you up. All right. We live in a society where people don't help people, dog. Okay.
That's true.
So if you just reach out to me out of nowhere, I know you're on some bullshit. So anyways, I came around, I told my story because I wanted to tell my story. I wasn't going to not come up, right? I fight. Like if there's a fight, I'm running into it. I'm not running away. I'm just fucking psycho like that. You know what I mean? I have that little apprehensiveness because I'm still human.
Yeah.
Right. And your insides decide, are you going to fight? Are you going to flight? Are you going to stand still? You know?
Right.
And my mind always chooses fight. It just, but anyway, so that's why I kept on going over there. And then I found out their true colors, but they still had that page up where they were making videos of my Christian wife. Is the most ridiculous thing ever, right? We think it's funny, but I had to act like I was mad to find out who was making it. Because as soon as they found out it bothered me, they kept making more. Does that make sense?
Of your wife?
Yeah. But I don't want to focus on that.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to share a tactic with you and with other people too. I'm not talking down to you, but just hear me out.
Right.
It's called beating the bushes. Okay. You beat the bushes and you find out what moves. That's all I did. That's all I was doing. These guys ain't my friends. Plug's never been to prison, never been to jail. I don't have a single friend, like a friend that has never been locked up. I can't relate to them. They're going to tell on me.
Yeah.
So, but they're not my buddies. They're nobody's buddies. They're trolls, bro.
Yeah.
They might have some friends behind the scenes. I know some of you guys have a community and all that. I think that's all right. I don't have a problem with that. Where I have a problem is when people come up and try to talk about prison shit and criminal shit, and you guys have never lived that life. And I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying in general. Like and that's why I say it's stolen valor. It's the exact same thing as the military, dog. It's the exact same thing. Hold on a sec.
Okay. Don't you think people go through tough things in life to make them into men? Like you don't really, just because you went to prison, I don't think that.
So what were you saying?
What I was saying is like somebody doesn't need to go to prison to be solid or to be a real man, right? Because life is hard and you know, and going to prison, like there's a lot of scumbags that have gone to prison. Still,
most of us.
They, you know, not like stealing's bad, but it's not good to do. You know, you ruin friendships and burn bridges and this, that, and the third.
Yeah, there's no friends, no honor amongst thieves. I agree with everything you're saying. But to lie about who you are is a fundamental fuck up in manhood. It's a fundamental fuck up. If you're a man, be who you are.
Right.
You know, have you ever heard the term?
That takes time to learn because everyone kind of does that in their life. They, you know, you kind of you grow into being comfortable with who you are. I'm sure there's exceptional people out there, but majority of time you have to learn to be okay with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about any of that. I hear you, but I don't have time to focus on people's psychological battles. You know what I mean? I don't care.
I see.
My thing is I just started out because I did almost kill a sex offender, and it made me feel like I want to start doing that shit to every sex offender in the world. So I'm not saying that I'm going to go burn every sex offender's face off, but what I am going to do is let all my killers out here in society know who the sex offenders are.
Yeah.
That's what my show is. My show is I'm appealing to all the dirtbags in society that aren't like sex offenders and chomos and all that shit. I'm talking about regular run-of-the-mill prison dirtbags. I'm letting them know where all the sex offenders are, and then they can go handle my business for me. I don't need to do shit.
Yeah.
You know,
go ahead.
I
think there's a lot more than, well, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah,
so if people are wondering what my motivation is, that's it. I mean, that's it. And then the rat thing, I mean, I know a lot of people that aren't involved in the community. I'm going to say this and get out of here. I know a lot of people that aren't involved in the prison community. And by prison community, I mean people that have been to prison. You know what I'm saying? That's the prison community. Yeah. The prison community is not people that come on YouTube and make stupid videos about prison and have never been there. Right. You know, that's not. The prison community is people that have been to prison. Let me explain something to you. How would you feel if somebody came on here and said they were a welder, but they've never touched a fucking a solder or whatever you guys call it, the TIG, or whatever kind of welding? Yeah. I don't know shit. So what if I came on and told you I'm a welder and I'm a better welder than you right now?
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah,
I'm a way better welder than you, Alan. You ain't shit.
No.
Matter of fact, let me see your welding paperwork.
Right.
and then I sit and I discredit you for being a welder. Oh, your horse, them lines ain't even straight. But I've never even welded before in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what everybody does on here,
Well, but I'm not going for it, dog. Yeah. I'm not going for it.
That's what everybody does.
I appreciate you bringing me on. I just want to say this before I go. I want to answer this question. Paul never met Jesus. It was a bullshit story. Yeah. Paul was a hitman for the Jews. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Jews are the ones that gave the order to kill Christ, but Pontius Pilate was a Roman governor. He's really the one that made them do that. The Sanhedrin worked with the Romans. Mm. All right. And they wanted to get rid of Christ ever since he kicked over them tables in the temple. Yeah. All right. All right, man. Peace. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thank you. I'll be right back. I got to take a piss. Be right back. What's up? Let's read these comments real quick. You know what? Let's do this. We're going to do this. Let's do this. There we go. You guys can look at some. Beautiful, ain't it? Let's play it. Play it. Where's the volume at? Turn it down a little bit more. Flame's better than Flames. Flame's pretty cool, though. What's up, KCBD? Dude, I was a little bit like, why was BCV saying fuck all of us, bro? Like, what's going on with that? I was a little taken back from that. Like, what the fuck? Why? Like, what the fuck happened there? Like, I seen this live earlier and you, like, legit said that. Like, why? I'm bunked about. Fuck yeah, he did. Put his ass in a dress, boy. I'm going to do that tomorrow, too. That motherfucker got nothing on me. He's scared of me. He's terrified of me, bro. Because he knows I'll smack him up. Do you think Dove's getting locked up? Yes, he's definitely getting locked up. Yeah, KCBD, he fucking said that. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and then it's kind of contradictory, too. Because what I don't understand is, like, he was upset about the whole thing with Chrissy. But the thing about it is this, right? And let's just be real. A lot of us don't look at every comment, right? And I'm really not concerned with what Chrissy is saying to Tony or what Tony is saying to Chrissy. So half the time, I don't know what's going on. And I think the same thing goes for a lot of people. And if Tony is talking on a subject, to go in there and comment on it, I mean, what's wrong with that? And you could say what you want, but the argument boils down to that. He was upset about that. And he was upset at me. He was upset at T-Train and, Dago Jen. I don't really know her that much, but he was upset at a few people. And I just feel like that is very, like, why? And then to go and say, like, fuck you and stuff. Well, not fuck you, but, like, I don't give a fuck about you. And, like, and that's exactly what he said. And that's kind of crazy. It's like, dude, but I care about you. I mean, okay, dude, I'd be all mad at me. I don't know what the fuck I did. And a lot of things with Tony, like, you can say what you want, but like BCV, like, okay, whatever is going on with Chrissy, right? First off, well, see, I need to think about this, right? How to put this.
in my mind, I think that if BCV sat there and didn't like what was going on, he could have had either texted Tony or called Tony, right? And told Tony that whatever he's going to talk to Chrissy or whatever they do, and for Tony to stop. And I think that would have ended it. It's Tony talking crap, Chrissy talking, and if you make the argument with, well, we shouldn't say this to women and should not, I mean, dude, I'm just going to be real. Like, we clown the fuck out of Big Natty. And I feel like if you are on YouTube, like it's been said, right, you have to have some sort of accountability, right? It's happened with BCV yelling at Chaos, Fetty yelling at Dago Jen, even the whole thing. If Dago Jen is saying something about Fetty has pretty much, like, what do you think? Fetty's going to be like, well, it's a woman, so I'm not going to say anything? No, he's going to say something. And they're two grown people, to be honest, right? We live in a society where everything's equal. Well, that's equal, right? Well, that Bobby Wonder, I mean, dude, if you just call him up and be like, hey, Tony, this is what I don't like. Can we come to some sort of agreement? Can you stop talking about Chrissy? Chrissy will stop talking. I guarantee it's going to end. Tony will say yes. I don't know. Like, I just don't see why I need to get into the middle of that, or for you to flip out on a live and then make a live later saying that you don't care and then be like, you guys should leave me alone. Don't talk about me. Dude, nobody's talking about you. Like, why are you telling us to stop talking about you when we're not even talking about you? Dude, you're on my freaking panel. In like the YouTube standards, I feel like I give you respect, right? I give you a wrench, whatever that's worth. You're allowed to come up on the panel when you want. So like I get, and then you just flip out and say, stop talking about me and don't bring me up. Well, you're the one bringing everything up. Like, that's contradictory to be like, don't bring it up when you're the person who brought it up, and then be like, fuck all of you guys. Damn, dude, what do you need, a hug? Like, what's going on there? Like, okay, dude, you're a Superman, bro, and don't say you don't want that, because we all know that's what you want. Deep down, that's what you want, bro. We can see through the crap, bro. I'm not an idiot. And what you need is people to pat you on the back. Like, why do you have to come out here and say, but say what you want about, on YouTube. What do you say? I'm doing this in real life. Dude, we all are. Every last single one of us are. I don't need to say it. Come on YouTube and tell, the 12 people watching me, hey, I'm out here doing, like, that's what I should do. I don't know. That just like took me back, dude. Even with the Fetty thing, I'm not perfect. I get into a lot of fucking bullshit, right? But like the Fetty thing, I stayed out. None of my fucking business. I'm really trying to do that. But then when people tell me to go fuck myself, then like, what the fuck did I do, bro? What the fuck did I do? Like, stop talking to me. Nobody's talking about you. You bring yourself up to get mad because you're brought up. Like, what the fuck? Like, I really don't look at every comment and see who's beefing with who. I don't know. And why don't I know? Because it's not a significant part of my life, right? And I see the point where that's all BCV sees, because if you own a Mazda, right, whatever Mazda, that's all you're going to see is Mazda, right? When you care about something, that's all you see. Where, that's the way life works. So I know that that's a big part of your life, but you also got to think this is only a big part to me, right? That's what I do. When something's a big part to me, I also think, because that's what we're supposed to do as reasonable people, be like, this might not be that big of a deal to other people. Like, I don't know. Am I making sense? I hope I am. Like, I'm confused. Like, T-Train is, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Say it with your chest. Hit the ball. It would that leave you? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like OUA12 says stuff about Tony, right? And makes his videos. He's not telling people to not hang out. Like that's what you should do. If you have a problem with Tony, then talk about fucking Tony. Make a live about Tony, saying he's a clown and this and that. If you feel that way about me, then freaking do that. But like to have other people have your back, dude, that's very, I don't know, to me that's weak. Like if you're right, then you should stand up for what you believe in. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says. And also, if you're going to say you don't care, bro, I don't care, bro, I don't care, then why even mention it? Why are you bringing it up? That makes no sense. Why do I don't talk about stuff that I don't care about? Like, say what you want. It's just the truth. We talk about what we care about. Like, that makes no sense. But people, yeah, exactly, dude. White people don't, yeah. Cool. Yeah. We all know what Bruce has done, yeah. 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 Well, I don't know. Things to think about, you know? We fair to BCB having some weasel mock your girlfriend's health issues over and over. It causes a pretty big reaction. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, 1-2. Like me, yeah, you're right. Like me hearing that Chrissy has a colostomy bag is not a big deal, right? I don't get mad over it because I know that it's not true. I don't care who says it. I know that it's not true. I don't even pay attention to it. But I also see if I was BCV, that would set me off, because that would be my girlfriend, you know what I mean? So, but BCV needs to realize that too, that like, it's not true. Like, I don't know. I don't remember when Tony said it, and I don't know everything what Tony says. Obviously, it's not like I watch him 4 hours start to finish. Like I'm in and out. So he could say it here. That's the thing. Like, even with Tony, it's like you're not in there for 5 hours straight, from the first minute to the last minute. I'm not. I'm there time to time. And what Tony says is what Tony says. Like, take it up with Tony, bro. If what I say, take it up with fucking Tony. Just because somebody's in there commenting on a, like even, okay, say Barry Wood. Barry Wood's a clown, bro. That dude has said, that dude has no business saying other people have said foul shit. That dude has said some crazy fucking crap. And we've all seen it, right? A lot of people would agree with me. Of course, there's going to be people that don't agree and say, oh, he's cool. And that's fine, right? I've seen him say crazy fucking shit. And he's in Tony's chat. Am I going to flip out on Tony about it? No, that's Tony's fucking deal. Do I have to immediately block him? No, I just don't respond. I don't care about anything he says. Deal, man. Yeah. Well, I know, dude, but he was like, I don't know. Today, if you listen to the beginning of his live, he was saying, who triggers the first Jailhouse Live? I don't know. What do you mean, Jailhouse Live? Sorry, I don't mean to ruin the joke. I just don't get it. Like when he goes to jail? I don't know. That's gonna be hard. If Doug goes to jail, that'll be fucking crazy, bro. And I think that's going to happen because like him pushing out, and maybe Dylan is just, I don't know, that bored that they deal with it. But I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know. Mad crap. Anybody was somebody on here, that personal friend was still chopping it with them. How would you feel? Well, Chaz, right? Okay. See, I'm going to try to respond to this in a reasonable sense. So what you're saying is me as BCV's friend
talking mad shit, right? Well, in that point, I would assess the situation, right? BCV has said stuff about Tony's girlfriend, a lot of stuff about Tony's girlfriend, right? He's had her picture up with this is true, and I making fun of her. This has happened. I'm not making it up. These are just the facts. So I would see that. And also, like I've said earlier, I don't see what all Tony says or what Chrissy says, right? I don't see that. So therefore, I don't know what is being said. What has Tony said? Like Stacy, I seen Stacy says Tony's called her a bitch and something else. I wasn't there. And Stacy, you see, I didn't know Tony did that. And the way I look at it is Tony did something to Stacy. I like Stacy. Stacy is always welcome in my chat, and Stacy's going to speak her mind about Tony, and that's that. I don't need to pick a side with. If Tony was on my panel and said, Stacy's a fucking bitch or something like that, I would tell Tony, yo, bro, like, what the fuck? I would absolutely fucking do that. But Tony on his own live saying stuff, I feel like it's Tony's deal. Now, that's just the way I think. I think that'll be fine. I think that's fine. Tony, what has he said about Chrissy? So the colostomy bag, apparently, I haven't heard it, but I don't know. I don't know. Should we stop talking to Tony? I don't know. Like, what should we do here? You guys tell me. What should we do? I don't even know. Stop talking to him? I don't think he should have done it. I think that's what I should say, right? I don't think Tony should have. A colostomy bag and wrinkly hands. That was enough BCV to go stand first girlfriend before anyone. He did a 3-hour live about colostomy bag and wrinkly hands. Okay. Gonna stand, yeah. Well, Dom, right? BCV has every right to stand up for it, right? But then what he did was he said he brought me into it, and he said he didn't give a fuck about any of us, bro. Like that's where I was like, whoa, bro, what the fuck? Like what the fuck did I do to you? Denies ever doing it, gaslights everyone. Right? Okay, I see your point. Stand up for his actions. It'd be much more respectful. Okay. Well, Jimbo, yeah, I know. You guys are acting like I have a problem that BCV stood up for Chrissy. Nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is to like yell at us for it is crazy. That is crazy. And then to turn around today and have a live. And dude, this is the God's honest truth. When BCV went live, right? And prior to that, I wasn't even in fucking Tony's chat, bro. Even the same thing with Mike King. I think Mike King said the same thing. I wasn't. I saw halfway through BCV's live is the first time in how many hours, right? I wake up. I don't know exactly what I do, but probably before work, you view it once or twice, right? I use YouTube for podcast reasons. So sometimes I would, pick my podcast, check to see what people are saying, and then I shut it down. And then I'm working. And then in some point of my day, whether it's 10:30, 11, 11:30, 11:45, whenever, I have a little time, I open it up to change it to podcast or to see what's going on. Then I seen what's his name? BCV was live, and then he had Tony's band picture up there. Then I went to Tony's chat, and I don't know what the fuck Tony was doing. I think he was just high as a kite, rocking back and forth or something. And then I think I wrote some in Tony's chat, and then I went to BCV's live, and then I listened to a little bit, and he was like heated. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know about heated, but he was upset, obviously. And then I went back to the start of the live, and then I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't even in Tony's chat at that time. I don't even know what the fuck Tony was talking about. You see? And that's where it's kind of crazy. To put it out there, it's one thing, but to, like, And that's something BCV has done numerous times. Say what you want. It's exactly what he's done numerous times. And I don't think that's a right approach to it. We're all grown men at the end of the day. And if you don't respect me, like you say, and which, it's fine, whatever. Tony is so disrespectful to human. Yes, I understand, Chrissy, and I've heard you, talk your crap about Tony. And like, obviously, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. And I think it's good that you stand up for yourself. If Tony has done some, then call him out for it. Tony is so disrespectful and supporting him. When he was called out, then he got mad. Okay. Write a book, facts. What's up, Midwest? Midwest is in the house. What's up, facts? Smash having those issues. I call a friend who was on YouTube. I no longer call it supporting. Yeah. I know, but like a lot of things is even with the BCV, with the chaos thing, right? We're just like, oh, like we should not talk to women. Well, that's a major fucking issue right then and there. Like, I don't think any of us you would find footage of us yelling at a girl. But also, I view it as Chaos was talking, whatever that deal was. I don't see, this is the problem. I don't think there's a problem with that. But he turns it into, you can't speak to women that way. And that's where it loses me. Then it's like, well, you're contradicting yourself. So you'd be like, well, I did that. But moving forward now, let's not do it. Well, you can't really pick and choose. And then something you did, that's something you fucking did, dude. And like I said, it matters to you. That's why it's a big deal. If it was somebody else's girlfriend, I don't think BCV would even give a fuck. That's what I'm saying. And that's just the honest truth. Someone limit facts to 20 characters. Oh, shit, facts. That's it. You're going to have to. Facts won't know what to do with himself. Facts writes a book, bro. It's like, when he sends me a text, it's like at least going for an hour. Ding, ding, ding. I'm kidding. Couple times. I think a good thing is Tony needs to come on the panel, and Chrissy come on the panel. I'm not trying to stalk shit, but I think that, and yeah, I think that'll be good. Like even right now, call them out. Tony's saying his part, Chrissy's saying her part, and it comes and you make your decision, if a decision needs to be made. Or you can also say, hey, Tony, I don't agree with that. You could say that too. Like when Tony called her, I think a mutt the other day not the other day, it was when I was listening to him, and I didn't like that. I didn't, but also Tony is upset and Tony's doing what Tony's doing. And if I talked to Tony, I would say, hey, Tony, don't say that to Chrissy. At the time I was working, obviously I couldn't write it. If I was in the chat, I would have had said, dude, like, come on. You didn't have to say that. I would say that. I don't know. Yeah, Chaz, but dude, BCV was just in Tony's fucking chat, bro. And that's what you can't deny, right? And that's where everyone's going to turn it. And if you guys want to go hard BCV, then yes. You would rather talk shit to me than talk shit to BCV, because BCV, it's like you just... And I'm sorry to say this, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's kind of true. He's set in his ways and fuck everyone else, and he's right. Like, he's going to say that's not true, but that's kind of is the truth. And with me, I'm a little bit different. I'm not talking up myself, but I listen to people a little bit more than he does. It's better to, like, have an argument with me because it's not going to blow out of proportion. I'm not saying I haven't blown it out of proportion before, but, I don't know. Yeah, he did, Chrissy, and I've seen that. Agreed. I've seen it myself, and I don't like that. I don't, because I consider you as a friend. I don't like that. I don't. But I think that if BCV, I don't know. I don't think I need to be put on a thing where I need to pick anybody. I've had my arguments with Tony, and I've also talked to Tony, and that is something that people can't like talk to Tony, bro. Talk to Tony. Tony, you can talk to Tony. You can say this and that, and I don't know. See, everybody's gonna. I have my own ways of viewing things, and I've talked to Tony. I think if it's a problem, I would call Tony up. I would talk to Tony. I don't know. I know, facts. Pretty badass, ain't it? Nature. We need to see more of it. I was just thinking that the other day. Like, we're all cooped up, Maybe if you work outside, the other side of him, because Aaron is protective of people he cares about. Yeah, Chrissy, that's good. See? I don't know him at the same time, and I do think that he's a good dude, But I'm just calling out what I see. It's not good. The skits and bits too. I'm still waiting on people to pull up on you. I know, Flames. No, there's a lot of people I really like in the community, right? If somebody, I don't know, if KCBD, I don't know. There's just some people that I think are, I don't know, good people, and people might view it differently, but I do. There's a few that, not a few, there's actually quite a few. Like to say that, it was kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of crazy. Came out of fucking nowhere. I want my jeans back there way too tight. Yeah. Have a good night, Tony. I don't know. I think we can all get along, and we have our disagreements. And just like I don't think it's the end of the world if Tony is talking about a subject and BCV goes in there and makes a comment too. But that's going to be okay, and that has been okay until BCV doesn't like something. See, that's the thing. Then it just, I don't know. See, I'm going to go on and on. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. I feel like I like everybody, and everyone has a say in, like, I wouldn't say my chat, but like whatever is here. That we talk. Say one, Tony has a history. Did you know? History. You fell victim. He's doxed me, yes. Yes, we've all seen it. I don't think that's a fact that can be denied, I've also said, I don't know. You guys all know what I say. What I say for Tony, I was gonna get his disability. I've said that. Leonard's gonna know about it. I've said that. What else did I say? Probably a few other things too. I said I was gonna whoop his ass in a wheelchair. Probably said that. Right. Yeah, exactly, KCBD. I 100% agree with what T-Train said. And T-Train is not like, he's acting like T-Train's like, oh, fuck Chrissy and being in there. That's not true. That's not true. That's the farthest thing from the truth. And we all know that. T-Train likes Chrissy, and Tony was just saying something. I guarantee you, Tony doesn't agree with, not Tony. T-Train doesn't agree with, and T-Train said this. Of whatever Tony, the comments, and all I'm saying is whatever is because I don't see them. I don't pay attention to it. So like who's ever posts, or like, let's say Miss King makes a post and the quote unquote fight happens there. I don't see it. I don't know. So you can't like get mad at me. I didn't see it. Do I know that Chrissy doesn't like Tony? Yes, because Chrissy makes her opinion very well known in the chat. So when I go live, I see it. So anyway, I'm just repeating myself over and over. You too, Tony. Tons of shit I don't get Tony on, and I'll say, yeah, exactly, KCBD. Tony bullies females. Okay. Jim's fat fingers. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Facts. See, I like this. Yes. I think very well put, man. And, even with the whole DV case with BCV, right? I think a lot of people twist it into something it's not. And like we weren't there. None of us were there. We at the end of the day, we don't know what happened there. And do I think from what I've seen on YouTube, right? Of BCV, I keep saying BCB. I don't think he's a guy like that, right? At the end of the day, I'm not, you could make the argument, well, everybody, I'm not in the same room as him, but does he seem like a person like that? I would say no, right? And especially if he's 38, 39, and that's his first one in his whole life, obviously that says a lot too, right? Like shit happens, stuff happens. Like I feel like if it's a abusive person, he would have one after another. It'd probably be like 5, 6 of them, Yes, exactly, KCBD. I agree with you. See, even with the Fetters thing, I didn't get involved in it. And when Tony was saying the whole Joey Begs and this and that and third, I didn't participate in that. That's Tony's deal with Fetty, and I don't understand it. I don't think the same way Tony does. I think there's two sides to every story and whatnot, but that's all Tony's own deal, right? And even Fetty knew. I said hi to Fetty. When Fetty comes in the chat, I greet Fetty, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't care who gets mad at me. I don't see Fetty as the same light as a lot of people do. That's it. I see Fetty as a decently good person that's just trying to do well in his life and not perfect and fucks up like we all do. But still, at the end of the day, having a good heart, A lot of people say that's not true. Well, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to end it real quick. I got some stuff I got to do. Sorry, I abruptly ending, but I will talk to you guys later. Sorry. I just have I got to run. All right, guys. Peace.